Steve, Normal Remarks here, back again with another video, back again with another Oculus Quest top 10 questions. So this is another top 10 questions. I've done a previous top 10 questions, so this is technically another 10, which makes 20. But we've now got more information. We've had F8, we've got more sort of details about the Quest. People have got hands-on. I don't have one myself, but I am pretty much like trawling the internet and YouTube and everywhere for information. So I like to think I know a decent amount, and I've obviously got some decent amount of experience with VR. I've decided to take you guys to Gloucester Docks here, and we'll have a little sort of wander around. So I do know you like this kind of video, so let's have a little wander. We'll do the little sort of tiny planet view. You may just see the top of my head for the most part of this, but you know, that should keep things interesting for you guys. Let's have a look of the questions that I've got. So when can I get it and how? So you can pre-order it now, and it's due to be shipped out to everybody come the 21st of May. So in 3 weeks time, you'll get them sort of delivered from places like Amazon, Best Buy, Walmart, Argos and Currys in the UK. Personally, I've got one pre-ordered at Amazon.co.uk and at Oculus directly, so you can order them there. Both of them say they should be delivered for the actual date that I want them for, which is good. And what I will do, I will leave some links to the Amazon pages down below, because if you do pre-order via Amazon, it does give the channel a little kickback. You know, doesn't cost you anything extra, but I get a little tiny little cut from that sale, and it helps the channel, it helps me do more videos like this. So if you want to check that out, you can do. Question number 2, do you need a phone to use it? And I guess the other question is, do you need a PC? So do you need a phone? Yes, you do, to set it up. You can download the Oculus app now on your phone. It won't have any of the Quest stuff in there, so you won't be able to kind of like log in and pre-purchase any games or anything like that, but you can download the app ready. On launch, it'll then sort of add all the Oculus stuff in. You need it to set up, and then technically, you then don't need it again after that. So it's useful to have it, just like the Oculus Go. It has some useful features and it's definitely worth having, but in theory you can kind of get rid of the phone after and use it within the, you know, its own menus and stuff to buy and purchase stuff and all that sort of stuff. You don't really need the phone, but yes, you definitely need it to set it up. And I guess in the same vein, do you need a PC? Well, no, it doesn't connect to a PC. It's all self-contained. It's not powered by a PC. It doesn't need anything from the PC. You only need a PC if you want to do additional things like transferring files to it, or maybe doing some of the advanced stuff like side loading some apps and that sort of thing. But you don't need a PC. You only need a phone to start it up. But as I say, it's useful to have a phone on hand if you can. Question number 3, should you buy the 64 gig or the 128 gig model? Now, I think for the most part, we're finding that the games aren't too big. So if I kind of flash up on screen now, you can have a little look at what the sort of sizes are for some of the sort of key games. They do vary from about 300 megabytes up to sort of a couple of gig. I would take that with a pinch of salt. They may get a little bit bigger, they may get a little bit smaller, but for the most part, that's the sort of sizes we're expecting. So you're looking at about, after sort of the OS takes its space, so the Android system takes its space, you take about 20 gig off that. So you're left with about 40-45 gig for games, apps and experiences. And that would leave you, if say in the worst case scenario they were all 2 gig, that would leave you with 20 games, which is probably more than enough for most people. I can't imagine most people will have more than 20 games or apps. But even big games, popular games like Beat Saber, are only about 300 megabytes. And even on the Rift version, that's about the same. So there are probably a lot of games that are a lot smaller because they're being optimized and compressed. So we shouldn't need too much space. But if you want more space, if you want to store more games and apps and experiences, you want to sort of sideload some movies or films or TV programs or anything like that, you might want the bigger one. Personally, I'm going for the big one, but that's because I intend to sort of download and play pretty much everything I possibly get my hands on. So I'm an extreme user, but if you're more of a casual user than your average user, you should be fine with 64 gig. Here's a question I've actually had a few times is, how do you actually install games? Now, I guess if you haven't got a VR headset already, like the Rift or even the Oculus Go, you may be wondering how you get the games. People are asking, do you actually buy the games in the shop? Do they come on cartridges or discs? No. They are only download, and you can only download them from the Oculus store. So the Oculus Quest itself will have a store on its headset. So you boot up the headset, you turn it on, just like a mobile phone. You go to its app store, you purchase your games, apps and experiences, and then they're in your library there. So that's how you purchase them. If you've got the Oculus Go, it's exactly the same process as that. Pretty much the same again as the Rift or pretty much any other VR headset. People also ask if you can share those games and apps and experiences that you buy. Everything is locked to your account. So if you buy things, they're only for your account only. You can't share them with other people. They are locked to your device, not to your device, but locked to your account. So your Oculus or your Facebook account that you log in with, they'll be locked to that only. And that's the only people that can use it. You can log into that account on multiple headsets and share those experiences, but you will have maybe some multiplayer issues if you try and play with the same account on the same game. But you can in theory kind of have more than one account, more than one headset with the same account on. But what you can't do is have a family mode where you all have different account details and share the apps and experiences. Unfortunately, that's not possible. There are some cross-buy apps and experiences. So some games and apps and stuff, if you buy them, if you've bought them on the Go or the Rift, you will also get the Quest version for free. It won't cost you anything extra, but that's up to the developer. And we are seeing more and more people confirming that's going to be possible and making those sort of cross-buy. So making them cross-buy so you don't have to buy them twice. So if you've already bought them on your Oculus Rift, you should be getting them free on your Oculus Quest as well. So it'll save your purchase. Same goes for the Oculus Go. So there are some things like virtual desktop, which if you bought on the Go version, you get the Quest version free. So it's not sort of always Rift to Quest or Go to Quest. It sometimes might be one or the other. So bear that in mind. But hopefully it's all made clear sort of come launch. Next question is, what sort of audio options do we get? What sort of connectivity do we get for sort of headsets and that sort of thing? So the Oculus Quest itself is just like the Oculus Go. It has sound that actually pumps down its sort of headband strap. So it has a solid part of the strap, run down either side, straight to your ear, pumps out the sound so everybody can hear it around you, but you as well. But it does sound really good. It does sound really good on the Go. And I've heard that the Quest 1 has a little bit more bass than the Go version, which is nice. But what it also has is 2 audio jacks. So on the front of the headset, you've got 2 sort of stereo jacks either side, well, one either side. So you can actually choose which side you want to plug your headset in. And they are releasing official sort of headset adapters or headsets, sort of in-ear buds, one that goes kind of in either side. So you use both plugs to have one earbud in each ear from that side of the headset, which works quite well. It's quite a smart way of doing it, really. Both those headset jacks are stereo, so you can plug your normal headset in either side. Unfortunately, I think as far as Bluetooth headsets goes, it's going to be the same as the Oculus Go. There was no Bluetooth support for headsets. I know Oculus have said that there were some latency issues with Bluetooth on the headset, so they've kind of not enabled it. So even sort of hacking in the back and getting into the Bluetooth settings, you can't pair a Bluetooth headset, but that was never the case with the Go. And given the headphone jacks are literally on the headset right near your ears, you probably don't really need it. Just get yourself a shorter cable if you can, or just tuck the cable from the headset down your shirt. A few people have asked whether you have to pay for games and experiences on the Oculus Quest. Yes, absolutely. There will be free games and experiences on the Oculus Quest, I'm sure. So some of the social stuff like Big Screen, Old Space, that sort of stuff, when that gets released, Rec Room for another example, those ones tend to be free. Some of them have sort of in-app purchases or something like that to unlock some features. But the actual sort of games themselves, like Beat Saber, Journey of the Gods, all that sort of stuff, and that does cost money. And they do cost sort of, on average, £20, $20. So sort of bear that in mind. But they're not free, and don't expect them to be free. You don't need to pay to play online or anything like that. So you're not like Xbox, you don't need sort of an Xbox Live subscription to use it, or you don't, at least at the moment. Oculus haven't brought brought out that feature just yet, and I can't imagine we'll see that sort of thing for a long time. Yeah, so you do need to pay for the games. You don't need to pay to play online. There will be 5 free demos already installed on your headset when you get it. So you get a free demo of Beat Saber, Creed, which is a boxing game, Journey of the Gods, which is kind of like a Zelda type game, Space Pirate Trainer, which is kind of like sort of space shooter where you actually kind of stood on the platform shooting spaceships and sort of aliens as they come at you, and then Sports Scramble demo of that, which is the sort of tennis game. Well, I don't know whether it's going to be the bowling part, I'm not sure which part it is, but you get a little demo of that as well. And then you can obviously purchase the full sort of price of those games. Beat Saber, I think, for example, will be like $20, so bear that in mind. But what games and apps and experiences will be available on release? Well, we're going to get 50 available, and I'll put them on screen now that we know of. A few of them are kind of default things like the Oculus browser, so you can browse the web. You got Oculus Gallery, so you can actually sort of view sort of media files that you upload onto your headset directly or you download to your headset. But then there are other things. So I think sort of for me, Beat Saber is the obvious one that I think everyone's going to go for. Well, most people are probably going to go for. It's kind of a system seller. It's a fun game, easy to get into. A lot of people sort of enjoy it and play it. What else we got? Journey of the Gods is going to be good. As I say, Zelda type game, so why not? There's some good games that are coming over from the Oculus Go as well, which are good on there. So virtual reality, Ultra Wings, Thumper, they're all kind of good things that you can actually get on your Oculus Go now and your Rift, and they're coming to that as well. Face Your Fears, which is the kind of jump scare type game, that's actually coming out with the Face Your Fears 2. So that's going to have a different sort of setup in that one. I think it's more sort of story based, so that one's going to be fun to play. Looks like it's going to rain on me. Ugh. Let's crack on. So there's a fair few highlights there. It'll be interesting to kind of see what else comes out. As I say, I'll stick them on screen so you can have a little look. Question number 8, how much space do I need to be able to play? Now I think ideally you're going to want a nice comfortable minimum of 6 foot by 6 foot, so 2 meters by 2 meters. That'll be good for most games and apps and experiences, even though sort of you do get sort of that room scale experience where you can move around and walk around rooms. For the most part, the stuff that's been released sort of at least day one, you can pretty much play standing still, and that will kind of be the case for a lot of games going forward anyway, because even with kind of the new system, the sort of pass through where you can kind of see your environment that you're actually in, it can be a little bit disorientating, and not everybody has that space, and it will kind of limit the sort of market for the experience if they force you to kind of have room scale, as it were, so you have to wander around. But that sort of standing still, giving you enough room to reach out left and right, so you're not punching anything, that's going to be kind of key. So if you kind of stood still and leant forward, sticking your arms out in every direction, that's kind of the space that you need ideally. There will be sort of sitting still experiences, but what I would say is if you don't want those sort of games where you sort of sit still and you don't want those games where you want to move around a lot, standing up, playing, that sort of thing, then maybe kind of look into the Oculus Go, because that's more about media, and it's sort of a bit easier to use and that sort of thing. Actually, I think we'll walk back up this way. People have also asked, as part of that same sort of question, can you play it outdoors? Now, partly the answer to that question is yes, partly it's no. Yes, you can use it outdoors in big spaces, not huge spaces. I think it's something like 25 foot. It's kind of like the maximum, but it doesn't like bright sunshine. So that sort of interferes with the sort of tracking system, stops the headset from being tracked. Tested, I don't know if you know Tested, on YouTube, they did a video, they took it outside, it just didn't work, didn't track, they couldn't mark out the spare space or anything in VR with that in bright sunlight. But if it's overcast, like it almost is today, you probably could get away with it. You probably can map your sort of environment. So yes and no. All I would say, word of warning, is protect your lenses. Make sure that you've not got your lenses facing the sun on your Oculus Go. So not the cameras on the front, but the lenses where you look through, make sure they're not facing the sun, because it only takes a few seconds for those lenses to act like magnifying glasses and burn your screen. and you don't want to do that because you can't fix that, you'll have to send it back to Oculus and hope they'll replace it for you. Question number 9, how long will the battery last? Now there's still some testing going on, but from what the reviews I've seen so far, people will say it ranges from 1 hour to 3 hours. Now, I think sort of realistically, if you look on Oculus's website, it does say 2 to 3 hours. It will depend on what experiences you're playing. So the more active and the more tracking and everything that's being used, the more battery it's going to use. So if you just sat down watching something, some videos or some photos, it's going to last probably that 3 hours. But if you're jumping around playing Beat Saber for solid gameplay, then you're probably going to be burning through that battery, maybe in an hour, maybe in 2 hours. We'll have to sort of get some sort of testing out. What I would say is it is USB Type-C. You could easily have a battery bank. Maybe I do recommend the Anchor ones in your pocket. Nice big fat one, 20,000 milliamp ones, and just use those plugged into your headset, wire running up your sort of shirt, and you should be fine. And with that battery power bank, you should be sort of like tripling, quadrupling, if not more, your battery capacity. You can pretty much go all day. And now whether you'd actually want to play that long, that's a long time to play, that's up to you. But personally, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick the battery bank in my pocket, run a shorter wire up to the headset, maybe with a magnetic sort of cable. So if I do sort of get a bit too energetic, if I do catch it with my controller, it'll just pull free rather than damaging the USB port or the cable or anything like that. So the 10th and final question, as we turn around and go back the other way, before it starts raining and I get to my car, is how can I share what I'm playing? Because unlike PC VR, it's connected to a PC. Whatever you play gets displayed on the PC monitor. Now with a standalone headset that doesn't need a PC or anything like that, how do you share it? Well, it's actually quite easy. So your mobile phone, if you still use your mobile phone app, like I was saying sort of before, you only need it technically to start with, but it's useful to keep an eye on and keep a hold of it. So you can connect your Oculus Quest to your Oculus app on your phone. You can choose cast on your headset or on the phone, and then cast to it to share what you see, which is a useful feature. It also has the feature to Chromecast. So the Oculus Go doesn't have that. Hopefully that's going to come at some point, but the Oculus Quest now has it. So you can Chromecast to your TV. The casting to your phone doesn't send the sound, but the casting to your TV does. And what I would recommend is that you've got a nice strong 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi connection in your home. It will work on 2.4 gigahertz, but you'll get a stronger, clearer signal on 5 gigahertz. And that'll just work so much better. In addition, you can also record straight to the headset. So gameplay can be recorded straight to the headset itself and then uploaded to YouTube or that sort of stuff. It does record the audio of the game or app you're experiencing, but it doesn't work and record with every single app and experience. So you have to kind of test it and see. It doesn't record your mic audio, so if you're going to do sort of YouTube Let's Plays or that sort of thing, you're going to want to sort of record your voice separately, but you can sing that sort of thing up in post, maybe sort of do a countdown to looking down in the headset at the same time as saying down, and then sing that up in post. You can also live stream to Facebook, so you can only stream to your actual sort of main profile, unfortunately not to a page or a group or anything like that. Hopefully that sort of thing will come in the future. The quality is not amazing, but it's the same as the Oculus Go. From the sharing menu, you just choose share, you enter your details, you can choose to actually include your microphone, game audio, and you can actually see sort of the chat and the comments that are going on your video. So it's kind of useful, kind of fun to do. I guess what you do is you stream it to your own personal profile, and then share that to any particular page where you want people to see it. So not ideal, but it'd be nice to have some other options. Maybe we'll get Twitch in the future. That would be quite good. I think that would open up sort of the sort of scope of an awareness of VR, and especially the Oculus Quest, to be able to put that onto Twitch or Mixer even, would be pretty cool, but it doesn't work at the moment. But there's the 10 most asked questions. So Let me know in the comments down below if you've got any others. I'll try and answer them maybe in a third video. Once I get my hands on the headset, I hopefully should be able to answer a load of new questions, because I'll be able to test it and try it out. And as I say, I've got 2 on order. Whichever one comes last will go back to the shop, because I can't afford to keep both. And with that in mind, if you do want to support the channel, make sure you check out merch.remarcus.com. Grab yourself a Remarcus t-shirt or pillow, and that gives me kind of a kickback as well. And as I say, if you do pick yourself up an Oculus Quest, use the Amazon link that's down below. That gives me a little kickback as well. Helps me keep doing this for you guys. If you found this video useful, give it a thumbs up. If not, give it a thumbs down. That's fine. I'm big enough and ugly enough to take it. But do let me know in the comments down below why you didn't like it. I'll try and do better for next time. Become one of the Remarkables. Hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to be notified when I next upload a video. And that's me done. I'm out. Have a virtual Tiny Planet high five.